All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. This is Deep Waters on Rhythm 93.7. My name, of course, is Titi Changpe, and on the show today, we are talking about emotional blackmail, how to recognize and react to manipulative tactics. So if you're just joining us, do not forget that you can be a part of this conversation. We are streaming live on YouTube at Silverbread News 24, and of course on Star Times channels 109. The number to call to be a part of this conversation is 0705 993 6937. 0705 993 6937. And before we went on the break, we talked about what emotional blackmail is, and in a nutshell, it simply just means getting a loved one to do what they don't want to do. You know, you taking advantage of the fact that my partner loves me, or taking advantage of the fact that my best friend cares for me, so you always guilt trip them anytime they don't tend to dance to your tune. Just in simpler terms, we definitely have a coach right here in the studio, and she would break it down into details what this means, how you can figure out the signs, at what stage does this become unhealthy, at what stage are you supposed to pick your bag and baggages and pick race for your life because it's no longer healthy. She's here and I cannot wait to introduce her. So this lady right here, she is a love manifestation strategist. Come on. If easy, run them now. She's the CEO of the Love Vault Limited and the founder of the Love Trust Inner Circle. With a passion for helping women find true love, she hosts the Marry Right Seminar, the love show. It's a love show and a podcast. And as a coach and mentor, she empowers confident goddesses to stand out and attract lasting love. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, if you're holding a glass of wine, kindly just drop it. If you're seated, please stand up because we're about to welcome our coach, Coach Blessing Christopher. Woo! Can you hear the ovation? Just imagine. Imagine the ovation. Yay, the flowers, everything. Welcome. Good evening.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here.
I'm pleased being here.
Aww.
I'm excited. I'm thrilled
I know,
to be here.
it's good to have you. And I love your dentition. Look at that gap too.
Wow.
Can you see, Mel?
I can see.
But it's very little. It's not as
Compared
wide
to
as yours.
mine,
I've
right?
always wanted something wider
bigger
than
one.
this. But hey, at all, now you do it in. Now you bad pass. All right, you are welcome on the show today.
Thank you.
So getting straight into business, right? So my first question is, from your perspective as a relationship coach, I mean, like I said earlier, I already defined what emotional blackmail is.
Yeah.
But from your, wealth of knowledge, perhaps what I said was rubbish and I was not aware, I would like for you to define emotional blackmail and why it is a critical issue in relationships.
I would say in simple terms that emotional blackmail is controlling the emotion of someone that is close to you.
Bam.
As simple as that.
As simple as that.
Because,
yeah.
It won't happen with someone that you're not close to.
That you're not close to.
It has to be someone close to you. It's a personal relationship.
That's true.
And it's a controlling behavior that the person in it knows what it's actually doing. That's why it's a blackmail.
Okay, so are you saying everybody? Okay, because in relationships, there's always the controlled and the controller.
Yes.
Is it possible that some controllers don't even know that they're being controlling? Because yes, it's a blackmail, but what if the person isn't just aware that I'm blackmailing you, but I'm just used to getting what I want when I want it and how I want it? Let's say, for instance, I'm a spoiled brat and I'm always used to getting what I want, and it's not really intentional.
When it comes to emotional blackmail, we have the soft blackmail, which is just compromising when it comes to your spouse or a partner in relationship.
Yeah.
So at that stage, it's just compromising. But when it gets out of hand is when you always want to have your way at all times. Doesn't mean you don't have to shift boundary, but it's setting boundaries and standing by it. That's what counts.
And standing by it.
When we talk about emotional blackmail, there are types of emotional blackmail.
Okay.
Basically, you have the punisher. You have the self-punisher.
Yeah.
You have the sufferer. And you have the tantalizer.
Tantalizer.
You understand? So you now see that at these levels, They are different. They comes in different
forms. Because some people like to self-inflict pain. Because I don't know the terms for them.
That's a self-punisher.
The self-punisher. If you don't do this for me, I'll hurt myself.
I'll hurt myself.
Are you drunk?
Get it, right? You get it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's emotional blackmail it's a mental health issue.
It's depending on the stage.
Because by the time there are certain people in a relationship that they get so used to the fact that they've been blackmailed, so it becomes part of them. And except they get professional help, it just continue like that.
Because it actually doesn't make any sense why you would want to inflict. I understand if you want to inflict pain on yourself because you don't have sense, but you want to inflict pain on the person that you claim you love. Or some people will say, if you don't do this, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah,
I'm going to expose you. Or maybe because you guys are so close, you guys share secrets, you guys have,
vulnerability.
You guys have some information, some classified information. Then you want to use it against your partner because you want to have your way.
Yeah, people. No one can actually blackmail you if you're not vulnerable.
That's right.
They don't have your secrets. Yeah. They don't know your weakness.
Very true.
So it's when they know your weakness, they can now control. They prey on your weakness.
They prey on your weakness.
They prey on your weakness, and it's terrible.
Because I was asking my friend, and she said it. She was like, nobody can blackmail me because do I have any emotional attachment with you? That was her response. But then how then do we shield ourselves? Because we live in a world where we need to commune, we need to get to know each other, relate, love. But these are the reasons why people just build walls, right? Do you understand? People just build a wall because I don't know your intentions. Because even after 5 years, you then realize that this person still doesn't have your absolute best interest at heart.
When it comes to relationship, there's no perfect relationship. It's two imperfect persons coming together to build a relationship. It takes two to tango, right? But you have to understand, you have to be self-aware. Because for you to escape this, you have to be self-aware.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge the fact that you have been emotionally blackmailed. Until you get to that point whereby I've been emotionally blackmailed.
Yeah.
I need help.
Yeah.
I need to tell a family member or a friend. I need to act. You won't get help.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much, Coach Blessing. So moving on to the next question. Can you share common signals of emotional blackmails that people might overlook in their relationship? Because sometimes, you see the signs, but because look at love, the way they say blind people they choke, my sister. So you see the early stages, you see the signs, but you're so blinded by love that you tend to overlook it. And also in that same, it's 2 in 1. I also want you to share your own story. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt emotionally manipulated, and what were the signs that made you suspect it? Do I need to go over the questions again?
No, you don't need to. No, we talk about knowing when it comes to relationship.
Yeah.
Now, for emotional blackmail,
Yeah.
we have it in different relationships.
Okay.
Might be romantic relationship, parent and siblings, family members, couples, and all that. Colleagues, you understand. It will happen in the professional relationship as well. But it's most common with romantic or family related or a parental relationship.
The way mothers blackmail their children, especially mothers, African parents are sitting on this table and they are sitting, they balance. Parents, the mother will just start crying, and I'm like, it never reached like that. What are we talking about?
All I did, I forgot my youthful age for you. You're supposed to be here to take care of me. You're supposed to do that.
Relax, mommy. It's not that deep.
It's not. You understand?
On,
so when it's like that, you tend when emotional blackmail comes in 3 forms.
Okay.
Fear, obligation, and guilt. So when the 3 is combined, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being good enough.
Yeah, fear of
missing out. So if you're in a relationship and you're always being told, I will end this relationship if you do this. So it comes in threats.
With threats.
They're tripping you. So those threats are those ones that
signs you should watch out for. Any small thing, get out of my house. Jesus.
No, get out is even, you can even say, if it's like that, I will. No, but if you leave the door, not coming back. You
Or if you make
understand?
that
Or if you make
decision.
that decision, or don't you think you're overworking yourself, or don't you think you're doing this too much? You're supposed to be in a relationship, you're supposed to know what I want.
Wow.
How come you're not doing what I want?
Okay, so please, guys, I really want you to be a part of this conversation. Coach Blessing is just giving us back to back, and it's really insightful and amazing. The number to call to be a part of this conversation is 0705 993 6937. So basically, what she's saying is, if you are afraid of losing your partner so much that they threaten you back to back, right? If you're being threatened day in, day out about an issue or another, it's a sign.
It's a sign
That, that person is being manipulated.
Manipulated.
So what of obligation and guilt? Let's break that
you
down.
know, looking at obligation is like, you ought to know that we are in a relationship. It's Valentine. We are expected to go out. We have a lot of things you have to do, and you're always expecting that you're supposed to do a particular thing. You're obligated to doing that.
Do it.
Putting it through to you.
Entitlement.
Entitlement mentality.
You just feel entitled that you
understand.
should do
You
this.
should do this. That's emotional blackmail. But most times we don't know. And another way they come is, especially when I talked about the tantalizer, is that they even come in form of reward. I wanted to give you these, but you didn't show up.
Oh,
You ought to have been here. This was meant for you. I even went
see.
as far as getting you these.
But because of your bad behavior.
Because of these. You understand? So
This thing is like Nollywood film. Because a movie, a scene just played in my head the moment you made those statements. A scene just played in my head. But that's nice. Then guilt as well. Anytime you also feel guilty, because I mentioned this before you came on, anytime you feel guilty for not,
doing a thing.
doing a certain thing or dancing to your partner's
Dancing to your
tune,
partner's tune,
it's
yeah.
also a sign. So please, I hope you're taking note of these things. So moving on to your next question. Do you think emotional blackmail is more prevalent in personal relationships, professional settings, or in both?
I would say it's more prevalent in personal relationship. It's my view, my perspective anyway. Because for every issue, there's always different perspective to it. But why I say it's mostly in personal relationship is because if you don't know you, if you don't know your filters, if you don't know your values, if you're not self-aware as a person, you're prone to it. You're vulnerable.
You're vulnerable, definitely.
So
it's also an esteem thing, right?
Yes, because what those individuals do, they prey on your weakness.
On your weakness.
They prey on your weakness, and by doing that, by preying on your weakness, what do? They make you feel insecure. They themselves are insecure.
Definitely. Okay, so then how can we balance emotional expressions and blackmail? Because there's a thin line.
Yes, there is. There is a thin line between both.
Yeah.
But it starts with someone that knows himself or herself. If you know you, if you're authentic and you know you very well, then you will not allow yourself. You communicate healthy. Have healthy communication.
Yeah.
You are able to speak it the way it is.
Wow.
Because even when you're blackmailed and you want out, you have to be able to communicate calmly by letting the other person know oh, this. I was hurt by this. Or I'm hurt by this. And that's how
All right, so your last words in summary, because like I said, we do not have as much time as we normally have. So just your last words on, people that are being manipulative, or someone out there that is hurting based on the fact that they're in a manipulative relationship.
Okay, for someone out there that is in a manipulative relationship, I just want you to know that you can get your power back. You just need to be self-aware. I need to understand and embrace the fact that you've been manipulated, because that's where it stops. And
okay, so do you want to share your handles where people can reach you?
Okay, on Instagram at blessingchristopher.rc.
At blessingchristopher.rc. Is the dot DOT or is just the
dot?
The initial. Okay, dot
yeah,
IC. All right, thank you very much, Coach Blessing. It was wonderful, though it was short, but I'm sure you would come back if we reach out and if we give you another invite. Thank you so much out there. It was a fun experience. I enjoyed myself, and I'm sure you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed it. Thank you very much. It is Radium 93.7. Deep Waters is the program. TT Changpe is the name, and see you some other time.